Being recorded. Pete and Andy about what? Let me get. Yeah.
We're back.
Yep.
I
WX
don't see the
Live.
button to share my screen, Arnold.
You weren't made a presenter. He said you didn't
make
need
me
to
the
share.
presenter. Make him the presenter.
Oh,
Pete
he needs to be the presenter.
Yes,
oh my
for the moment.
goodness.
But Pete talks, he presents. Wow, I'm talking my God.
Come on. I'm gonna turn that guy off.
I don't see the guy walking across the Grand Canyon. I just don't see it. Okay. Are we recording, Arnold?
Yep, you're on.
All right, go for it. All right. What I've done is start bringing the classes and the web services into the web project. And now I've got to get with Andy here real quick and kind of work out some design details. But the first thing I did when I brought in the classes is started getting some errors. Well, one of those errors was in the error handling class that Andy's written. And I'm trying to remember which. It's down there in the error log, I think it is. Error part where you get it is. Yeah, right here. I was getting a compiler for this because this statement is only allowed in WINDEV. So since I've got this class inside the web, it was causing a compiler error, so I had to do the conditional code so that we could get rid of that compiler. And how I did that was I just came in. You see we have case service. I went ahead and left these statements so that in unit testing we'll get a trace and so forth. But the actual write to the service log we can't do. So I just came in here and on the code tab I said I want, and I've switched to French. I said I wanted a code cible.
Did you do that on purpose?
Need me to translate? I've given up, Arnold. I've just decided to learn French in the house.
Alrighty.
So you do a new code area, and then you get these different ones. Now what I did was I did advanced, and then picked the Windows services because obviously we only need to write to the service log if we're having a Windows service program. So I added 32 and 64-bit services, and that gave me a code section for that where I could put that, and now I no longer have a compiler in that class. So that was one of the things I had to do. The other thing I did was actually bringing in the web services, and that's probably the coolest thing in the world. It is. All I had to do was come over, since Andy had already done it, and I could have asked him for the link. URL if I needed to, but no. He was busy playing this morning, so I decided. Yeah, right. So, just a second. I'll drag it over that screen as soon as it comes up. Okay. Well, thought I drug it. Okay. Try that again. There we go. So this is the WebDev one. WinDev one that Andy's been working on. Close down a few things here so you can see it. And all I had to do was come in here. He'd already linked to the web services. So if I right click and do a description, it tells me that's the URL for the WSDL. And all I do is copy that, and then I came over to my WinDev one, and I said, use a web service in this project, and paste in that WSDL address. And once I did that and it went through its little work, it gave me all the web services that are defined in that WSDL.
That's too easy.
Including test shite.
It is. It is. You're going to be surprised how easy it's going to be. I did the exact same thing for the mobile. I copied over the WSDL, bam. And now the WSDL's in the mobile, and actually be working on putting data to the screen today.
Now the other thing that I did, and the reason you couldn't see because it was on the other screen, but that error handling class. In fact, I haven't checked that in yet. Apparently, let me check. Oh, yeah, I've checked it in. All right, if we come back over here to this error handling class, see that change that I made in WebDev is reflected over here. The reason that it is when I pulled all these classes into my WebDev, what I did was I said import a class from the SCM, and I came to the SCM for the ChatterBox, and I selected all the classes and did a share, which is apparently what Perteger is. So yeah, it's a little tough when it's switched to French for some reason. But by sharing from the SCM, now any changes I make in the web, any changes Andy makes in the WINDEV, those changes are going to get into both projects for the classes, because we don't want 2 copies of those classes. That'd be a maintenance nightmare. We want 1 copy of that class, and that's what we have. Even though he's developing Windows, I'm developing web, we're using 1 copy of that class. So all of our file management logic is standardized.
And what it does is with the conditional code, using the conditional areas, it allows us to fine-tune one section versus another section based upon whether you're using the Windows or using the mobile, or Windows or web. And it really comes to play really nicely, because instead of dumbing down the system in order to fit both environments, you're able to use the richness of each environment to the best of its abilities. The web being the web, the desktop being the desktop. I don't have to dumb things down for the desktop to fit the web, and he doesn't have to do the same thing going the other direction. Okay, and when we get to the mobile, it's a lot of the same issue. So it really is nice to be able to use that conditional coding to handle that situation.
And that's the extent of what I have for today. Like I said, Andy's got a good piece of the Windows one running now, so I'm going to be getting with him and work out a few details on the web one, and by our next session we'll actually have a website and window one up and running for some news groups and start actually getting the do a little playing.
Yeah, we'll post the source all this Sunday anyway, where we're at, good, bad, or ugly. It'll all be there, and for all 3 environments, and then we'll start refining any issues we have with it as we move forward. So it's not bad. I mean, it's come along nicely. You know, between trying to catch can, fun, and time here and there, it's been fun lately. We've been implementing a large-scale system.
Yeah.
And large.
I just want to see how you do your replication. I'm only kidding.
Oh, well, actually, you got to understand, we are going to do replication, but I'm going to use the universal.
Yeah, but you're going to do
so
it to
I'll be honest with you, I got 2
South
choices.
Africa, right?
Yeah. Well, we're going to do Europe too if they, you know, if Jerome will host a server, you know, a hyperfile server for us. If he'll do it, we'll do one to the main office if Jerome will do it.
So that's 3, only 29,997 more to go.
That's right. We can make it. We can make it. Come on, guys.
Oh boy. I don't think there's that many countries, man. Maybe cities.
One of the things about the replication, going back for it, I'm reading through the universal replication part. Like I said, the only thing that's currently given me any kind of concern, and it's something I should have asked Jerome, and probably I can get to him here in a little while and ask him anyway, is the RPL file. It says the file contains the values of the items that will be copied, H modify or H added, into the data file currently replicated. The question is underneath the replication, underneath that replication, whether or not that it shows the entire record in there or just the fields that were modified. If it shows just the fields that were modified, then universal is what we're looking for. Truly,
yeah, I do know when he was showing us that example earlier, when it came to the conflict resolution stored procedure, they actually had an option to get all the fields or just the changed field. So I'm hoping that something like that also exists on the universal side. Well, yeah, there was actually a checkbox on that screen when he was showing us that screen for the conflict resolution.
Right. Okay. Mobile. Let's. You want to switch over to me, and I'll ditto a couple things on the mobile.
All you.
Second here. Okay, let me get, I know everybody should be seeing the big monitor right now. Let me hang on just a second here while it flashes. And when it comes back, I'll move something over there.
Wow, it's really thinking about it.
Well, it does take a while. You know, something having to go across 6 monitors to figure out which one you want. Probably need to shut down some things too. Probably wouldn't hurt. Yeah. I only have 9 different WINDEV, WebDev, mobile things open at the same time.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It's coming over there. I got to keep up with Pete.
Oh, you guys are too much.
Yeah. All right, so this is the main screen right now for the mobile. Let me let it finish displaying here. This is the main screen for the mobile, and we'll have the chat rooms. You'll have your library that you can get to in the news groups. All 3 of them is there, and I was working on the news group itself, so we'll have the news group area showing up here, and with the date and the topic of the message. If we click this, we'll go to a sub-message because there's not a tree view structure inside the mobile device as yet. I'll say as yet. There's not a tree view table. There's not tables as yet. So this will be more of the traditional web style deal, and what we plan on doing is I'll put the topic of what are the messages and the number of replies, and when you click on that, you'll go to the replies, and you can go from there. So
you're talking about,
that's about the best we can do.
Hey, Andy, you're talking about tablets, not phones, right?
No, this is tablets. The idea of putting something like this on a phone would be just insane. I mean, I can make a phone version, but you won't be able to see it.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of times you can go to, Skype on the phone or the tablet or the PC or Mac and stuff.
Well, no, I can make the chat on the phone. I don't have any problem with doing that. Okay. It's the news group stuff that I don't think would work well on the phone because of just the size and scope of where things are.
Yeah.
But I don't have any problem with taking the chat room itself and making a phone version. I can put it on my Galaxy and test it, and we'll see what happens. But we'll just do the one is what we'll do.
Cool. Oh, yeah, Fabrice says, what mobile target? Tablet, 7-inch, whatever.
Right.
So it's tablet. Yes.
Right now, it's a tablet. I've got 2 different ones. I've got a 10.1 and a 7-inch. We're testing on both. Okay. Mine is a Motorola Zoom 10.1, and then my wife has a 10.1 Samsung Galaxy.
Hey Andy, I have an iPad and a 7-inch Nook, so we can test that too.
Well, the Nook we might be able to get to. The iPad, I don't have the Mac Mini to do anything with it, so I can't do an iPhone or an iPad one yet.
Okay.
Now it will be coming. There will be one coming. Don't get me wrong. We will do one for the iPad before it's over with. I just haven't convinced them to get me an iPad for free yet.
Okay.
So as soon as that gets convinced, we'll have an iPad version. But it's mainly going to be set up to run. Sorry, say that again.
A Mac version also.
A Mac version. You are dreaming. You live in a
for all the developer on Mac, no?
No, we have a Mac version
on the web.
It runs inside Chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it runs inside Chrome.
That's right. It runs inside Chrome. Yeah. Now, I will tell you this much. If you want to see something cool, I just did this yesterday, and I was working on it, and I actually have it out there right now, and this is a phone-based one, which you can see it. It's a little program or a little deal that I'm working with Tony Tetley on, and what it does is allows you to do things as you travel. And I've got it set up now with the AVK. We're starting to look for routes and stuff like this. Basically, if you ride motorcycles, one of the biggest things you do is you try to find the most coolest ride you can go on. Okay. Plus, if you're just traveling down the road, things like this. Well, what we want to do is develop a methodology for people to know where to stop, food to eat, things like that as they travel on their motorcycles or in their cars or things like this. So basically, you can share a run you got like Gatlinburg Run, and we've got it set up to where you've got the entire map information and everything going on that, and it's pretty cool. It runs nicely on my Samsung. And then I also did it on the tablet. So if anybody wants to play with it as I develop it, let me know, and I'll send them the APK for it for the Android, and you can play with it. But it's the graphics are great. That was done by an old friend of ours named Jesus Marino, the graphics guy. First Logo Design is his company. And he done the graphics and stuff for this, and it's really nice stuff. Really nice stuff. So just saying, if y'all want to play with some mobile stuff in version 18, it's using the map control, and so we're going through all the map information on that. So if anybody's doing mapping and stuff on version 18, make sure that we all kind of get in the same room sometime and discuss what you're learning, what I'm learning, and things like this, and we'll go through that. So
yeah, it's easy. You know, the thing is, we can always do an ad hoc webinar too, where
yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes when you go in the chat, sometimes when you start going through things, it says, "Show me this." You send up those screencasts and all that. Well, it's easier to come here and say, "Show me that, show me this." Go flipping between people. We can do that.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. So anyway, we'll get this motivated. There'll be the classes and stuff will already be in the mobile device by Sunday when I release it. So you'll actually be able to, and I'll have the APK developed for it. It'll be running on a tablet, so if you want to move it to your tablet and actually run it, you'll be able to do so if you're part of the group. Instead of just trying to muck with the source, you can look at the source and actually see it running on your tablet at the same time if you're part of the group.
Yeah, Fabrice, Tim handles the distribution of that, I believe, right?
Yes, well, I give it to Tim, and he puts it in he's got shared Dropbox for all the WxDevCon folks, and that's where it's released, and everybody gets it on their shared
Yeah,
Dropbox.
Fabrice should be getting it.
Just forget to add to the list. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you should
be on the list, Fabrice. If not, talk to Tim, please.
Yeah, I may have omitted Fabrice by mistake.
Okay, will do.
Yeah, I don't know about for mistake, but at least you admitted it. Why don't you add Jerome onto the list too,
okay.
Tim?
Okay.
Yeah, because we want him to come.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jerome there. I'm not likely going to believe that it's going to happen, but at least let him see what we're doing with his products.
Right. Yeah, Jerome is still on the webinar.
Well, can't Fabrice sneak him in his suitcase or something?
I don't know. Well, Fabrice is on the islands. Jerome is over in France, so he'd have to at least go to the islands first.
So,
yeah,
anything else?
I'm really trying not to go through France to go to the States.
Yeah. I understand the feeling. What do you mean I have to go to Chicago to go to Dallas? What's wrong with you people?
Chicago and Dallas are just
But that's
nearby.
about it.
Yeah, we're talking 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
So, Andy, are you going to be doing your next session, your full session, in a week or two or 3?
Let me talk with Pete. We should announce Monday. We usually do these every 2 weeks, but we're getting down to the wire, and in essence, I got to push Pete a little bit anyway. So we'll let you know by Monday. Him and I got to talk today about where we're going to be on Sunday, where we're going to be by Friday, because we've got to kind of get this whole thing wrapped up here by, I really want it wrapped up, running and working by the end of July, even though it's the end of August, as a seminar.
Okay. So anything else? Any questions, anybody? Tim, you have anything to say?
Nothing more than just thank you all for showing up. We had a really nice crowd this morning. I wish we had this every week. But reminder that all today's attendees will be entitled to receive the early bird registration special, which ended on the 30th. But it will be extended to you until the end of this month. The end of this month is the registration deadline. That's a restriction set up by the hotel. They have to have everything in by the end of the month. So if you'd like to sign up, please either send me an email or give me a telephone call, and I'll get you signed up. Thank you all.
And it's going to be a fun time. It's really going to be a fun time. We're really going to get together, learn a lot. Fabrice, with all his level of experience for 20-some years now, and in WINDEV, you'll be able to ask him a bunch of questions, and hopefully he'll be able to answer every one of them perfectly.
He's asked some really good questions today, so you can imagine what kind of questions he can handle.
So anyway, with we got some really old school WB or WINDEV programmers that's going to be there in Fabrice, which I think is an excellent second run on this. I want to thank him for taking the time to come up there. Hopefully everybody will get to show up.
And Glenn, do you have anything to say about your boot camp, the foundation? I don't know if he has a mic. Oh, he has no mic. Do you want to say something about that, Tim, for him?
Well, he is having that fundamentals boot camp, which is going to be on August the 26th and 27th. It is it's basically a subset of his very successful training course that he currently offers for quite a bit more money, and there are a fairly large number of attendees to that so far. It's about half of all the people that are attending the regular conference have chosen to attend the boot camp as well. It's a great opportunity.
Actually,
it's great training.
I have a mic now, so thanks for just mentioning that. And also, I'm going to put together a special for those who want to purchase additional training from that boot camp, or people who don't take the boot camp, so they can be checking my site for some specials.
Cool. Alrighty.
All right. So all I can say after this is y'all be good or be good at it.
And thanks for joining in and beating the quota of 2 dozen. That was great. We had 44 people.
44. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a good turnout. I'm shooting for 100 someday.
We'll get there.
You bet. Okay. Good.
It wasn't that long ago we didn't have any.
It was just us.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you next time. Next week.
Bye-bye,
Check the announcements on WxLive.us.